And we're live. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Dancing Dreamers with DJ Damashii. You're listening to us live on MSP Waves Radio, hosted by the Minnow Support Project, a community of Steemit users who are dedicated to helping newcomers to the Steem blockchain achieve success through community building, networking, and mutual support. I'm DJ Damashii, also known as Rodeo670 on Steemit, and you're tuning in to the 17th live broadcast of the Dancing Dreamers with DJ Damashii. Thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in to the past 16 episodes of this first ever Steem-related EDM radio show. And thank you, of course, to everyone who's tuning in right now. I'm a little sick, unfortunately, so that's why my voice is kind of off, and it's going to be a weird show tonight. Sorry, guys. But before I do begin, I just want to inform everyone listening right now that MSP Waves Radio and its owners take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or their guests. Statements and show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of the radio station. The material on the Dancing Dreamers with DJ Damashii is provided for educational and informational purposes only. All right. Oh, man. So those of you who have been tuning into my show, you guys know that I like to start my show off with some music to get the ball rolling. So, let's see. I think I'm going to start us off tonight with some Knife Party. This one is Destroy Them with Lasers. All right, everyone. Again, that was "Destroy Them with Lasers" by Knife Party. So tonight's episode, for tonight's show, oh boy, this has been a really crazy time. The past few days have been really crazy for the Salt Lake City EDM community. So I just decided that I would talk about this on my show tonight. Because it really, man, it messed me up real good. Honestly, I saw a side to the Salt Lake City EDM community that I guess I was just super ignorant that existed, that it was that it was a thing, that it existed. Those of you guys who have been listening to me for a while, you know that like one of the things I love about EDM and about the EDM crowd, the EDM community, is that we're all such loving, heartfelt, like respectful people for the most part. I mean, obviously we're still human beings, so we have that that downside, and so nobody's perfect, obviously, but still the level of ugliness and just like complete hatred and dark vibes, dark energy that I saw, that I bore witness to this past weekend and over the next few days, it just blew my mind. It absolutely blew my mind. That Sweeney guy is asking if I'm going to Lost Lands this year. You know what? My heart is set on it. I haven't bought my ticket yet, that Sweeney guy, but I'm hoping I can make it work. Hopefully. Let's see, Brian, is there song requests later? No, unfortunately there aren't any song requests right now. And that just has to do... I would love to do song requests, honestly. I would love to be able to play any music that I want to on this show. But the way it works, I guess, is that our radio station, like, there's a database that our radio station searches all these tracks on that play on the radio station, and we need to make sure that it's all in that database. And so there's no real, like, live, in-time request on the air, I guess. But yeah. Alright, so, going back to the subject, I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you guys so much for being here with me tonight. I almost forgot to thank the audience. That's like one of the first things I always do, right? But yeah, you guys are all awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you spending, the 2 hours of your night every Wednesday to chill with me and talk about the EDM culture and community and lifestyle and whatnot. Someone in the M1 asked, what did I see this weekend? And I'm about to get into that, actually, M1. And so there's like this huge drama situation that exploded in the Salt Lake City EDM community recently. And it all started with this contest that's going on. Corona Electric Beach put out this contest to see new talents and new acts submit their stuff, and to give these people a chance to play a set at the Corona Electric Beach stage at EDC this year. And so you guys who have been listening to my show know that Halon was this group of local artists who came onto my show a few weeks ago, and we introduced you guys to their sound and their music and how they came together and whatnot. So these guys decided to enter this contest recently, and I mean, it was ridiculous. The kind of support that they got was, it was amazing. They got to like second place within 48 hours, and then the next day they took first place, and they were hanging on for a little while, and then all this drama exploded because some people, people will talk all the time, and there's haters in every scene, but it all started with one person who's not even affiliated with Halon, not even, close friends with any of the members. They decided to make a post sharing Halon's EDC contest entry. And the wording definitely could have been better. This person, I guess, had a personal beef with one of the other DJs in Salt Lake City, and so he decided to use this opportunity to promote Halon's entry while talking shit on the other DJ. And that set off this huge shitstorm in the Salt Lake City EDM community. But before I go into that, I'm going to play another song for you guys. This one, this is for you, Robo Raver. It's a song that you've suggested several times in the past, and I never got to play it, but tonight I think it's somewhat fitting. It has the same atmosphere to it, I guess. This is Words from the Gang by Kuhn. Hopefully it plays. Alright. We're back, everyone. Again, that was Words from the Gang by Kuhn. Alright, so let's see, where was I before I decided to play that track? Oh, I was talking about how the drama exploded, and so this one person made a post, right? One person who's not even affiliated with Halon or any of its members, not friends with them, like by any means, and and this person, because he chose to talk shit on another DJ, while at the same time posting a post in support of Halon's post, um, like he just amassed all these haters on the post, and everybody was hating on Halon, not him, not the person that made the post. Halon. Like, they were hating on the artists, they were hating on the members. It was insane. And so I wanted to talk about this tonight because I want to stress something, people. Artists don't have control over their fans like you think they do. People are going to do what they want to do regardless of what, such and such artist says or does. Um, yeah, they're we like there's no like widespread mass mind control device that'll allow you to be like, oh, take that down, or like, don't say that, and people will just listen. I mean, as nice as it would be if something like that existed. And so, to everyone in the Salt Lake City EDM community who got all up in arms and got really, really fucking ugly over the past few days with this shit, check yourself. Seriously. Because that shit was fucking disappointing. Super disappointing, super heartbreaking, honestly. To see so many, well-respected members of the community, people who I respected and looked up to, and people whose music I enjoyed, people whose music and their sets and shows I've promoted for in the past because I genuinely enjoyed their presence and their music that they put out, but not anymore. No, and this is something that I just get so fired up over this. Like, it really blows my mind that grown ass men and women will hate on an artist for something that their fans said that they have no control over, absolutely no control over, and it's not just hating on the artist. They were hating on their manager too, and like talking all kinds of shit, dude. This shit got so ugly. Like, I have all the screenshots, guys. If you guys want to see the screenshots, I mean, there were several threads, okay? Several threads that I collected screenshots over because I just... I couldn't believe this shit. I could not believe what I was seeing, what I was reading. And, unfortunately, the biggest offender took his post down. The one with the nastiest comments. I guess in an attempt to save face, right? But joke's on you, dude, because I have all those screenshots, and they will live on in the internet forever. And I will share that shit with anybody who's interested in seeing who these unscrupulous members of the Salt Lake City EDM community are. Because the vibe you put out, the vibe you showed this past weekend, not having it. Not fucking having it. That is not what EDM is about. That is not what the scene is about. That is not what the Salt Lake City EDM community is about. Oh my god, I get so fucking heated over this. Whew, okay. Sorry guys. I'm gonna play another song for you guys. This is Good Vibrations by Nightmare and Slander. 1 second. All right, we're back, everyone. Again, that was Good Vibrations by Nightmare and Slander. Okay, let's see. Before I played that song, I was getting all worked up over this drama that happened in the Salt Lake City EDM community. Oh, man. Yeah, sorry, guys. I'm, like, kind of sick right now. My throat is, like, really dry. So, yeah, I might have to clear my throat or drink water every now and then. So, I apologize in advance. Yeah, it's just been a real shitstorm here in Salt Lake City in the EDM community. And it's just shocking to me the kind of things that were said. And I mean, these people were attacking not like them as artists, but as human beings, as people. They were going after them on a very personal level, and making fun of them and everything. I mean, I have the screenshots here, you know, like this one guy, so their manager was trying to de-escalate the situation, and he was nothing but cordial and nice and professional, and all these people on this dude's post were just tearing him down and saying, oh, and making fun of him. And I mean, it's just ugly, dude. It's so fucking ugly, and it really, it breaks my heart to see that is the true face of our scene. Like, I mean, because all these people are industry veterans, you know, they've been around for years and years and years in the industry, building it up to what it is today. And yet, to see this side of all these people in the EDM community, and not just people in the EDM community, but event organizers and promoters and people who work for production companies, you know, I mean, you guys have heard me talking, you know, I've said nothing but nice stuff about Bloom 2 and about Lights Out Live, and, you know, I've even said in the past how I feel like Lights Out Live is going to be, you know, V2's biggest competition, and I fully supported them in that endeavor if that's the route that they were trying to go. Hold on 1 second, sorry guys, gotta drink some water. But this guy who was posting this stuff and saying all this nasty stuff to several people, I'm not gonna drop any names here of individuals, but I will say that this dude, after I checked his profile, is apparently the marketing director for Lights Out Live. And the fact that I haven't seen any official word from Lights Out or the people who own it or run it chastising this dude or calling him out for the shit that he was saying, it looks very bad. It looks very bad, and I'm very, very disappointed in Lights Out Live and the people that run it for not taking care of that situation with their marketing director. Because somebody like that has no position working in the EDM industry. No position, no place. Because... Well, I mean, I guess, you know, it's really up to your personal interpretation of what the EDM scene means to you. But for me and for so many other people that I've spoken to, why we rave, why we love being a part of the EDM community is because people are loving and accepting and respectful. You know, people live by PLUR and it's just someone like that person who left all these comments, They just don't belong in the EDM scene. I really don't think so. I would not want to be at an event that this dude is at. I really wouldn't, because I have no time for people like that who just want to spread negativity and who want to keep going after people even though people are trying to de-escalate a situation and who are adamant that they will fight and fight and fight and fight when other people are trying to gain peace. You know, it really, really upsets me that there are people like that in this community. And, you know, and like I said, it's not just anyone in the community. It's people who are working to build the scene here. People who are working for these, you know, production companies, and people who are promoters, and people who are even artists themselves. People who are DJs and producers in the local scene. All of these different people were involved in these threads and in ridiculing and making fun of people and putting them down. And you guys just think about the things that you said. That's all I'm going to ask, is think about the things that you're posting and think about, is that really the image that you want to portray for the EDM scene here in Salt Lake City? Because that's not what I want our EDM scene to be known for. Hell no. Oh, man. But with that, I'm going to play you guys another track. Let's see. Oh, fuck. Let's try to get the good times rolling, I guess. This is Good Times Roll by Grizz and Big Gigantic. Alright, we're back, everyone, again. That was Good Times Roll by Grizz. Oh, man. Fuck, dude. I've just been looking at all these screenshots from this thread, and I'm still, like, it still blows my mind that this shit was said. Like, I mean, because this marketing director for Lights Out Live, he, like, not only was he saying ugly ass shit, like, everywhere, and making baseless accusations, but he actually made several threats of physical violence throughout these several threads that he was involved in. And, I mean, something like that shouldn't be taken lightly. I don't think so. Like, the people that he made threats against, I don't imagine they would feel safe going to an event that he's at. You know, like it really, I don't know. It blows my mind that there's someone like that in our community, and someone of such a high like stature. You know, someone who's a marketing director for one of the biggest production companies here in Salt Lake City. It blows my mind, guys. Honestly, Lights Out Live. That's on you guys, man. You got to take care of your people and handle that shit, because if you don't, that sets a really bad precedent, and it just looks really bad on Lights Out Live if you don't rein that shit in and deal with it accordingly. Because yeah, I mean, he's saying shit like "I beat the fuck out of him," bet, you know, and I mean, God, I'm just, you know what? Here, I'll just post all of the screenshots for everyone to see for themselves, and you guys can have fun with that. But there's like 60 screenshots that I managed to collect over the past few days of all this bullshit going down, before threads got deleted and people started to actually think about the shit that they said. You know, I'm guessing they realized that they were in the wrong, maybe, or maybe they're just trying to save face. I don't know. But certain threads got deleted, and all I can say is I'm glad I was able to get these screenshots, because you might think that deleting a status that you posted will make it fade from people's memories. But in my mind and in my heart, I know who you people are now, and I know what kind of people you are. And going forward, I'm not going to be supporting several key people in this industry, unfortunately, because you guys showed your true colors, and I'm not about that life. And the people that I've spoken to, all the friends that I've made since becoming a part of the Salt Lake City EDM community, they're not about that life either. So have fun with that. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna play another song for you guys. Whew. Let's see. Let's play Chakra by W&W and Vinny Vici. Alright, once again, that was Chakra by Vinny Vici and W&W. Oh, man. This whole thing has got me so worked up, guys. I'm just so passionate about the EDM scene that, like, when shit like this happens, it really breaks my heart because, you know, full acknowledgement that all these people that were involved, you know, a lot of them have been doing the hard-ass work of building up this EDM industry here in Salt Lake City, and they've been a part of the scene for years and years, and they've laid the groundwork for all of everybody who's coming into the scene nowadays, and that's something I'm always going to be grateful for, obviously, you know, and you know, big ups to you guys for shaping the scene into this huge thing that's set to explode this year. You know, everybody that I've spoken to feels with our entire heart that 2018 is the year that Salt Lake City scene like really explodes, and like people actually are going to start coming to Salt Lake, like from all over the country, like, because that's just how big our scene has become, you know. And I guess that's why it bugs me so much, is that, you know, our scene is exploding now, and we have V2 and we also have Lights Out Live, and they're the two biggest production companies here who put together so many amazing events. I've had so much fun at both of their events, and so, you know, the level of love and of PLUR, peace, love, unity, and respect that I experienced at these events, it's unparalleled. You know, it blows my mind every single time, and so I guess that's why it tears me apart so much to see that there are so many individuals within the scene, so many people who have worked their asses off to build it up into what it is today, devolve into this level of you know, not just unprofessionalism, but just complete sheer ugliness of the human spirit. Like, I mean, these people were actively working to tear other people down, you know. It's not just a matter of disagreeing with the things that they're doing. They literally got all their friends to get onto this post and start talking shit about people. And I mean, especially for someone who's supposed to be the marketing director of Lights Out Live, like, if you've got a position like that and you're resorting to that kind of bullshit, I don't know, you know. There's a part of me that wants to say that I just won't support Lights Out events anymore, you know, because they have someone like that working for them. Several other people have approached me since all this shit blew up, and they've already told me that they're not going to go to Lights Out events anymore, and that's what kind of gave me the idea that maybe I should support their little boycott, like, you know, until they get this shit taken care of. And if they do get it taken care of, like who's to say that, you know, they're not just going to let something like that slide again in the future, you know? Like, I don't even know, you know. It's just all a bunch of bullshit right now. And the past few days I've had, like, you know, no energy really, and I've just been feeling really weighed down by it, because my friends who know me know that I am so passionate about EDM. It's not just a hobby for me, it's not just a way for me to party, it's a lifestyle. EDM saved my life, you know, on more than one occasion, and it's that magical feeling that you get from knowing that you can be at peace, and that you experience unity among people, complete strangers, you know, and that people will love you for who you are and respect you regardless of, you know, what road you came from in life. And for me to see that kind of shit is actually not really in these people's hearts, these people who have built this industry here in Salt Lake, it kills me, guys. It really does. I don't know what else to say about that, you know. I'm just really disappointed in a lot of big names here in the Salt Lake EDM community. Really disappointed. But I guess that's a perfect little segue into my song that I'm playing next. Oh, this is Northern Soul by Above and Beyond from their Common Ground album.
You can never take my soul.
All right, we're back, everyone. Again, that was Northern Soul by Above and Beyond. Oh, man. That song is, I thought it was pretty relevant. It's gotten me through a lot of hard times recently. The words are very emotional. They kind of pierce right into your heart. And, for everyone that was affected by all that bullshit from, the previous few days, with all that nastiness going around, anybody who was targeted and whatnot, remember the words of that song. You can break my heart and crush my dreams, but you can never take my soul. And I know it's hard when people are constantly going after you and attacking you on all fronts. And even, honestly, all these attacks were really ad hominem. And it's not like they had a real argument to stand on. They had to attack you personally because that's all they knew. But yeah, don't let them take your soul, people. Try to keep your head up and try to keep pushing forward, doing what you do. And people like that marketing director for Lights Out will they'll keep doing what they do and keep being nasty. And the only thing you can do at that point is just be yourself and do your thing and whatever. whatever. Yeah, but the reason I wanted to talk about all this and really call certain people out, I guess, whatever, is because, like I said, the Salt Lake City music scene, EDM scene, is exploding this year. We're being thrust into the national spotlight here, and we have to really decide as a community of ravers here in Salt Lake City. We have to decide for ourselves and as a community what kind of vibe and what kind of image it is that we're trying to display for the rest of the world. Because other markets, in the bigger cities like Los Angeles and Las Vegas and Miami, those cities are all all very like dog eat dog, cutthroat, oh every man for himself kind of thing, and you know that's the vibe that they have. That's the vibe that those cities have with their EDM scene, and everybody's kind of just out for themselves, or you know everybody just wants to help their own friends at the top who've been in there for forever, and here in Salt Lake, one of the things that I've always loved about the scene here ever since I got back into it is that, you know, up until recently, of course, up until very recently, I've always felt that it's been a scene here in Salt Lake where everybody is just so supportive of each other, and everybody, you know, compliments each other's music and their sets, and you know it's just always had that vibe for me, and that's why I love it so much, because you know, despite all this, you know, religious control over our you know, activities or whatever, because the church, it's kind of a well-known fact that the church really owns this place. But you know, in spite of all that and all this stuff, all this craziness, up until recently, I had only ever seen people supporting each other, and you know, sharing each other's shit, and getting their friends to listen to, you know, other artists' stuff that they posted. And so it was very, very heartbreaking for me to witness all of that nastiness that took place over the weekend and over the past few days. Because you know, for me personally, and I know I'm just nobody, you know, I'm just some random dude on the internet talking on this radio show. I have no real like weight in the community, whatever. But you know, for me personally, the kind of scene that I would like to present to the rest of the world when the Salt Lake EDM scene actually does blow up into the, you know, into the rest mainstream, I guess. I want people to look at us and see that we are different from all the other markets, because we're a small city, and so you know, along with that small city vibe, we should be an EDM scene where our artists are always helping each other out and always sharing each other's stuff and cross promoting and helping each other to succeed, because the way we should be looking at it is not, I want to make it big and I want to put Utah on the map. We should be I mean, yes, obviously every artist dreams of being that one, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we should be approaching it from a perspective more of, wouldn't it be fucking awesome if someone from Utah made it big? You know, like, and we should be doing our part to help that along, and not tearing people down who are trying to achieve that. You know, it's ridiculous to me that there are people who are actively working to tear other people down, who are trying to you know, to be one of those people that makes it big out of Utah, and represents Utah to the rest of the EDM world. Yeah, it breaks my heart, guys. You know, that's something that, you know, I want all of you guys listening to ask yourselves, if, you know, what kind of scene are we trying to produce here in Salt Lake City? What kind of image are we trying to present to the rest of the world when our scene finally does really truly blow up? You know, so we should be, right now I'm seeing, no, you know what? I'm just going to play another song, actually. I've been talking for a little while. So here's World Falls Apart by Dash. We're back, everyone. You're listening to The Dancing Dreamers with DJ Damashii on MSP Waves Radio. And you just heard World Falls Apart by Dash Berlin. Oh, man. See, that song, the words to that song, that's the kind of vibe we should be putting out. You know, we should be helpful and supportive, and we should be there for each other. None of this bullshit that's been going on the past few days, okay? None of that shit. And I've actually just found out that there are a lot of people from Salt Lake City listening right now and tuning in, including the marketing director of Lights Out Live that I've been talking about all night with all the bullshit that he fucking pulled. Oh my god. Okay. He's still going. You know, he's still going. Like, I don't know what your deal is, Lights Out Live. But seriously, handle your people. Handle your fucking people, because that shit does not look good on you guys at all. That's all I'm going to say about that. I feel like I've said enough about that, and people that have been listening know my stance on that already as an observer in the EDM community here in Salt Lake. Oh, God. But yeah, guys, you know, just ask yourselves what kind of scene we're trying to set here, and what kind of vibe we want to have going forward. You know, because people like that, for me personally, they don't have a place in our community. If we truly live by peace, love, unity, and respect, then someone with as ugly of a soul as that person has, if he even has one, they just don't belong in this community. They've proven time and time again from all the posts and comments that I've seen that they just don't live PLUR. They don't. They are anti-PLUR. They are the opposite of PLUR. You know, they sow seeds of division and hatred and malice, and that's not what I want the Salt Lake EDM scene to be, and I hope that's not what you guys want the Salt Lake EDM scene to be. You know? Absolutely not. Fuck that shit. And fuck your negativity, marketing director of Lights Out Live. Fuck that shit. Oh my god. See, I don't even like really cuss that much, and so the fact that I've dropped so many oh my god. That should tell you about how passionate I am about EDM and about our scene and about spreading the love and living PLUR, and how much it truly upsets me when we have people in our scene, people in you know, in positions of so-called power in our scene and influence, that's the kind of person they are, you know. It really irks me and grinds my gears. Because we're supposed to be helping each other out. We're supposed to be united, but no. Instead, we have all these different little groups in Salt Lake City that are vying for the top spot and trying to push other people down just so that they can, you know, end up on top. And that's really not at all what it should be about. If we're gonna live this EDM scene lifestyle, we should be living PLUR, and we should be demonstrating that everywhere we go, and that's the kind of vibe that we should have. We should all be united on this united front here in Salt Lake City, helping each other get that fame, get that recognition, lifting each other up instead of pushing other people down just so that we can look better ourselves. You know, it really, because I mean, you got to ask yourself, what is this all about? What is this all about if all we're ever going to do is tear other people down and talk shit on people and threaten to beat the shit out of them? You know, threaten to end their career. Like, no, fuck that shit. That is not at all what this shit should be about. Why are you fucking raving if that's what your mentality is, if that's what your main operating mode is? You know? Why the fuck are you in this community? Oh my god. And with that, I'm Again, everyone, that was Alone by Armin van Buuren. I mean, if you listen to the words of that song, like, are we alone? Like, I mean, is that what our scene is now? Like, we're just all on our own and everybody else is just gonna fucking push you down when you try to make moves? I don't know. I don't know if that's the scene that I stepped into. It's been a rough few days having to see this shit unfold, honestly. And so the marketing director guy for Lights Out Live has actually commented and said that I only know half the story. I mean, you know what? That might be the case. That might be the case. I may know only half the story. Who knows? All I know is I'm just commenting on all the shit that I saw that was a public post on Facebook by the marketing director of Lights Out Live. So that's the story that I know, is all the public posts that were made in conjunction to that by other people as well. And so, that's the story that I know. That's the story that I'm aware of, where several people were attacked on a personal level with some very, very nasty, nasty insults. There's no defending yourself, dude. None whatsoever. Like, I have the screenshots, everyone. I encourage you guys to look at the screenshots, read what this dude said, read what he fucking said, because to this day he's still defending himself, still, like, and saying that he was in the right. It blows my fucking mind how someone can still. Oh my god. Let the screenshots speak for themselves, is all I'm gonna say, guys. Let the fucking screenshots speak for themselves. In fact, in my show recap post tomorrow, I'm probably going to include several of the more flavorful screenshots. But with that, my guest is actually just informed me that he is here. So I'm going to play a song for you guys and go pick him up outside and stuff. So this is No Money by Galantis. When the show started.
Oh shit.
Okay. Alright, we're back, everyone. Again, that was No Money by Galantis. And I am joined here by Maclain Drake of Vibe Music Events here in Salt Lake City.
Oh boy.
Maclain, it's good to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, my hair was like shit, but yeah, no problem. No problem. What's up?
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What got you into raving, first of all?
What got me into raving?
Yeah.
Well, obviously drugs, sex, booze. No, I had some good friends that I worked with, and they kind of were like, "Hey, you want to go to a rave?" And it just happened to be Stevie Aoki, and ever since then, I've just been hooked. I've been doing it now for like 3-4 years now.
Nice.
So not as good as some people I know, but yeah, so that's kind of what I do, and it's been a good trip since. How long you been raving for?
Technically since 2009, but I've had like small little periods of breaks here and there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, but I've been at it like full on, like wholehearted into it since EDC of last year.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh. I haven't even been to EDC, so you're better than me, man. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, so I started raving, and then, from there, that's kind of how everything transpired. I did film, and that's kind of how it got me in touch with Sky, and then from there, I started throwing Vibe music events, as people know, and then from there, it's just kind of snowballed into craziness.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh
shit, am I in the shot?
Yeah.
I don't want to make people not in the shot.
What inspired you to start Vibe Music Events?
I actually was born with a hearing loss. So I have a 70% hearing loss.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wear hearing aids. It's a magic. What the fuck?
Oh.
I know. Whoa. It's not. That's pretty much the gist of why. I have a lot of good friends of mine who have been in the EDM scene for a while, and they always hype up our scene. But one thing I've never seen is just accessible EDM shows or shows in general, and so I just figured, well, why don't we just do that? And so I started throwing multi-sensory shows that allow us to use all of our senses to enjoy it and make it more environmental, like environment kind of friendly. I don't know what the hell the word is, but yeah. And then from there, we just kind of made it all about the better and the more we can bring into a show and the environment, the better it is for everyone. It's not just even for people with disabilities, and so that's kind of what I focus on with it. Because I don't like pinpointing disabilities. It's not about pity or anything. It's just about the more that we learn about how we can do that, the more better of shows and the better everyone will enjoy it. But it just happens to help people with disabilities a lot for these things.
Right. And so I'm completely like ignorant of everything, like in terms of like deaf and hard of hearing types. And actually, he had to correct me on the Instagram post that I made because I used hearing impaired because that's the term that I'm familiar with.
It is.
But apparently that's not the proper term. It's hard of hearing.
Well, it's like the different. I don't take offense to it. Like, by no means when I correct people or when I tell people about it, it's not from my personal stance, because I grew up kind of how we all grow up, is like I never knew any better. I didn't care if people make deaf jokes, but then you have to look at it from their case where if you call them hearing impaired, it's almost like calling a musician you're musically impaired. That's probably not like, you could maybe say, hey, you don't have the best music, or hey, you're like, you would use other terms to make it not seem like you're not saying they're shit. You're just saying that they need to work on, or they just, it's something faulty. So we say hard of hearing because it's hard for us to hear. That's pretty. I don't know, but I don't care. So you could say whatever you want to me in terms of like social media. I've had the deaf community attack people because they get pretty defensive, as if it's just something that some people are pretty technical on. It's just how our society can be sometimes. But yeah, so that's kind of, other than that, you're doing fine. Don't feel bad. It's not like they're gonna come.
I just like when you commented, I was like, oh shit, like did I step on some toes? Or like,
Can we end the interview now?
Oh yeah,
it's
done.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Right. No, peace out. No. Yeah. So it's something I just try and like do it in a nice way. So then if deaf people do see it, at least people are doing the little things, and it makes a big difference to them. Where for us, we're just kind of like, hey, we're not trying to offend you, we just don't know the correct words. And so when I tell people that, they're like, oh, I never even... Like when I did it at Sky, they made the same issue, and then when they corrected it, the deaf community was like, we appreciate that. Like, we really do, because people don't realize or they don't understand their culture, and so it's just like they don't understand some things we do, and we don't understand some things they do, and so I'm just kind of the happy, hey yo, let's keep everything peaceful kind of guy. I'm not taking offense to anything. It's misunderstandings in my world.
All right.
So yeah.
So let's see. How long has Vibe Music Events been around?
It's been around. Let's see here. I've done it for a year and a half now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we have a part that's a nonprofit. So then that way, people who are trying to give money to the nonprofit, it makes sure those people that really do need accessibility, we can help them and provide some funding. So then, because like school districts, we work a lot with schools and deaf and blind schools, and I don't like to take advantage of that community. My purpose is to serve them. In terms of like bigger festivals, like we've been approached by Coachella and people like that, it's a little bit different of a ball game. They have money. It's not necessarily they're struggling to get like. It's more like, okay, you don't need the nonprofit to like. The nonprofit doesn't help you. You're already going to spend so much money that it's a completely different ballgame. For school districts, I know how much teachers make, and I know all that. So I try and be. That's why I have two different aspects of it.
All right. Tell us about the first event that you put together for Vibe.
Really, really bad. No, it was really good actually. So I initially started it in terms of I knew Sky really well. I've known them for 2 years before that point. So I knew the owner and I knew their general manager, and we've been good friends, and they knew I always come from a good place whenever I talked to them. And so one day we had this conversation of like, if these shows are really dope, then it would be accessible, because then deaf people would be able to come here and feel like they're welcome. And this is not a welcoming place. Not saying it's not by their fault. It's just because we don't understand the little things that they appreciate. And so they were like, okay, yeah, so book out the venue. And so they let me use their venue for free. Like, they didn't charge me anything.
Oh, nice.
They were all about community. So I love Sky. I think they're all about community. They're all about building this scene to be a good scene. I really appreciate it. And so every time I've done a show there at Sky, they've never charged me a dime.
Oh, nice.
So I started out there. In the first show, basically, I did it how anyone else would think, is just turn up the bass because they feel music. And then I realized that parents wanted me to come around the nation. And I realized at that point that maybe venues wouldn't have enough power for someone who's deaf to feel like, oh man, I really feel this. And so at that point, I started thinking about, well, we need to incorporate other things into it. It can't just be bass, because bass can only do so much. But like Millennium, we want to show them the lyrics and we want them to show all of it. And so then I started developing technologies. So that's a lot when people have seen like the platforms I've made, or we do a lot with visuals now, where we have sense on some of ours. It just depends on what we do. It just all incorporates to what the overall message. And then we have an interpreter there most of the time. So then at the door, they're greeted by someone who knows ASL. Typically, it's not like something they require. I just do it as a courtesy. So then they're greeted by someone who understands them and understands their language, and so then they feel a little bit more comfortable coming into the place.
Right.
So, yeah, so because now we fly in artists, I always try and give away tickets to them, because they're not there necessarily for the artist. They're just there to be a part of something, because they never get invited out. So,
okay.
yeah.
So, so you mentioned some of these technologies that you started developing.
Yes.
What can you tell us about those?
I mean, what would you like to know? I mean, some of them are like, so I've created them all from scratch. I put like patents on them, so obviously they're under NDAs. But I mean, for the general gist of it, like platforms we use, they incorporate visual sense, so they'll have lights, and they allow you to feel vibration through it. They don't make any sound at all. They just allow you to feel the low to medium range sounds without making a sound, which helps people understand a little bit better how deaf people enjoy music. Because a lot of people think it's just like, let's turn up the music and that will solve the problem. Well, that's not necessarily the problem. The problem is they are just trying to feel the speaker, essentially, the vibrations. And so that's why you typically see them up at the front of the place. And so I developed a platform that just allows them to feel, that we can put anywhere in the venue, because when we make shows accessible, they don't necessarily put it at the very front. It's not the most convenient place for them. And so I'm like, well, I don't want them to lose out. Like, it's not their fault. It's the venue's fault. And so wherever we place it just allows them to feel like they're on top of a speaker.
Oh, nice.
Without making a sound at all. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of one of them. We're doing a lot with mood sensory for autism because we work a lot with autistic schools because I want to make them accessible for them. So we work a lot with that. I mean, we make clouds that we hang above people that are sound reactive.
Oh.
We do a lot with showing sound through LEDs. We teach deaf people how to make music through vibrations as well. So we develop programs for that. Yeah. So we take basically how music producers make music, and then we go to we basically Ableton, who sponsors us, they give us all the programs, and we teach them through vibrations rather than sound because they can't.
Huh.
And so we do that. Some deaf people, we teach them how to DJ because they have always wanted to learn how to DJ because they see me do it all the time. That's why I'm usually DJing like about 70% of the shows because they want me on there because I'm someone who comes from their community in a sense. And so I started teaching them how to DJ. And so yeah, that's kind of a little bit about some technologies. I mean, other ones we're developing. I mean, one we're working on right now is making live captions happen on visuals. So like a YouTube video, when you typically when you watch them and they're like have all the lyrics, those are already pre-programmed. Well, I want a thing that does it live. So then when the DJ's playing a random set, you could still have all the lyrics happen at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm working with programming and all that stuff. So it's insane. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Did you like already kind of know how to do all that stuff,
No.
or did you like assemble teams and stuff?
No, yeah, I actually develop a lot of it from scratch. So I recently got a team. So like Christian Hernandez, who helps me a lot with Vibe. I also have Peyton, who just joined our team and handles a lot of our promotional ticket sales and stuff like that. They joined our team. Matt Miller from White Tribe, Rick. We all worked together. They all wanted to help bring more Vibe shows. And so, but before then, it was a lot. I mean, I built all the platforms from my own hands and welded and learned how to weld and do all that. Developing the apps, I started developing them, and then I brought on some companies. I just do it a lot from scratch because people don't. When typically people hear about the deaf community, they go about it in the wrong way, where they don't understand that they need to go and learn about the community and understand what they're enjoying. So like, say like you're laughing or I'm laughing, I have like an interesting laugh. A deaf person can't hear that, but the way that they feel that is they will put their hands around your neck. So then they can feel it, and they're like, oh, that's why everyone's laughing. I didn't know it was an interesting sound like that, because it's so high-pitched that they won't be able to feel it through vibrate unless they put their hands right at the source.
Huh.
So before, like, the platforms, it was like a balloon that they would hold at a show, and then they would feel all the vibrations through a balloon. But who wants to carry a balloon the whole show? Not me. I would hate that. So yeah. I mean, we work a lot with Subpack. They sponsor us. We work a lot with like different LED companies. We just try and bring more and more newer ideas. And we're not perfect by any means, but at least we're striving to get to a point where we are perfect, I guess. I don't know. I don't think we ever will be. No one can be perfect, but
yeah. But I mean, the best thing we can do is strive.
Soon.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
So those platforms that you were talking about.
Yes.
I remember seeing like a white platform at the Art Factory. Is that?
Yeah, those are some of our models. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was like, why are all these people standing on this platform and dancing? Like, I never stepped on it myself, so I'll never know.
Heck,
I know,
man?
right?
It's right there at the front. Oh, man.
I know. I'll have to go the next time I go to
good.
the Art Factory for a Vibe show.
Yeah, it's just like those things. They're just as fun to be on, and it doesn't make you think about deaf culture. Like, that's my whole thing with everything I do, is I don't make it so much about disabilities. I don't like that. Like, who wants to be pointed out as like, let's give a round of applause to all the deaf people? It's more like, that's cool that they're doing that, but it's still an EDM show. It's still someone that you would go out and see. And I think that's really all I'm trying to convey, is everything I put in the shows, everyone can enjoy, and will not make it seem like, oh, this is for deaf people. It's more like, I enjoy this too. And then they're hanging out on platforms with someone who's deaf, and they wouldn't even have to ask. It's just, You would never ask. It's just kind of like, hey, I enjoy this. They enjoy that. Oh, cool. We understand and enjoy something on the same level. And I think that's all I'm trying to do is just bring the two communities together and be more inviting as an EDM culture. So
yeah, absolutely. I think that's like, it's really important what you're doing actually, because for me, the thought had never even occurred to me that like deaf and hard of hearing people would even be into this kind of stuff, you know? Like, I mean, and the fact that you've gone on this like kind of like assault on all fronts, like trying to cover every little bit to make sure that everyone feels welcome and like everyone can feel the music and enjoy the music just as much as any of us do who have like, you know, perfect hearing or whatever. Like,
right.
I think that's amazing work.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, and that's the thing is like people think that their hearing's perfect, but then they start judging based off of someone's speech or someone's, and I think that's that's kind of ironic because us going to concerts, we're going to destroy hearing. I mean, they're not getting any quieter by means, and that's typically how you lose your hearing. I mean, that's the sad. But nobody wants to come to terms with that, and when you do, then you kind of feel like you get isolated. Like that's typically for someone who has a hearing loss. That's typically how they feel, and so by doing this, it makes people understand that, hey, I lost my hearing, but I still enjoy concerts, and I don't have to give that up. And like for me, I was born with my hearing loss. Like it's not like I went to a concert and lost my hearing. Like I was born with this, and I had to learn how to adapt to it. And my friends learned how to socialize with me because of, I mean, just normal things. Like I did musicals, I learned instruments, I make music, I DJ, I do everything everyone else does. But people don't assume I'm a person with hearing loss. They only assume because they have a speech problem or because they weren't an ASL that they are different. And I'm just like, dude, you like me and you like to hang out with me, so what's the difference? And so that's really what I'm trying to break down is like everyone's perception is a little bit wrong in a sense, but we can fix it by just these little things. So yeah, I'm getting that it's like it's kind of a way to like reinforce this, you know, the truth that these guys are people too, just like us. They're not like they're not people to be avoided or like shunned or just because, you know. And so for you to do that and develop these technologies and have these events where they feel just as welcome as everyone else and everybody. I mean, the PLUR, you know, like EDM culture is all about PLUR, and so I feel like that like amplifies that so much more. The fact that there's someone like you in the community who it's basically like your life mission to make sure that, you know, this community can experience this and feel just as part of it as everyone else. Yeah, and that's why I started reaching out to the autistic community, because parents have brought to my attention that their kids would love to go to concerts, but because of there's not like venues won't allow their staffing in case any episodes happen. And I'm like, well, hey, if you want to provide that, great. I mean, I have no problem with it. I would rather your kid come to my show because I'm all about that's all. I will make sure everyone's taken care of if I'm address the issues. If you're not going to address the issues, I can't really help you out. And so we brought on a mom who actually has a son who's autistic, and she handles that whole. So that's why we're working now with the autistic community, is because I want to help them out. And I want to help every disability out if I can. I want every disability to be able to enjoy my show and feel welcomed and not feel it's all about their disability and feel safe there. And so, yeah, that's all I want to do. So, I mean, hopefully it works. I don't know. It could go wrong. I don't know. What kind of like, I don't know, I guess measures are you implementing for the autistic community? Well, yeah, so staffing is really a big issue is... well, what I've been addressed, and this is just as of recently, is like shows just haven't been open to allowing the staff people just getting for free, who are just there to take care of kids or adults or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, well, that's it. Then yeah, sure. I mean, they're just like, I mean, like I know, and I don't, and this is why I let the mom handle it, is because she understands autism more than I do. I'm learning, but I know hard of hearing and deaf people the best. But there's a spectrum, and they all like different genres of music, EDM, metal, things like that. And I didn't even know people like autistic people like metal, and that's just something I didn't even know. Just like how you don't know everything about deaf culture, I don't know everything about that. But I will bring people on to get that figured out. I'm more than willing, and so a lot of really where the concern comes is just staffing. So if an autistic person comes, they can allow a volunteer or somebody to come there and make sure they're taken care of if anything happens. We don't want anything to happen, but if anything does, there's someone there to take care of them and know how to handle the situation. And I'm like, sure. But I guess it's just not a thing that venues make apparent or they don't do. Which, is it right or wrong? I don't know. I just kind of am like, you know what? If that's all you need, then why not? Why not? If you want to come to my show, fine. I mean, I would rather you be there and know that at least I'm trying and we'll figure it out along the way than be like, yeah, well, until we have the perfect way, there's not going to be a perfect way. I mean, there's always going to be issues in everything that you do. And so I will always allow the options. And then if something doesn't work, we just adjust and we just keep going forward rather than just not do anything like most venues aren't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'm boring everyone. I hope not. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, let's play a song real quick and
Okay.
break up the talking so you're not
Please.
just talking for a whole hour here. Like,
Shit. Oh, God.
Let's play, alright guys, I'm gonna play Reaching Out by Nero.
Shit, yeah. Hell yeah.
Reaching out for something to hold.
fun. And then people on the radio have like dead air. Yeah. All right, we're back, everyone. Again, that was Nero with "Reaching Out," and we're still here with Maclain Drake of Vibe Music Events. I totally forgot what we were talking about before that song.
Yeah, the Art Factory. Yeah, we were going to be home there every month. We're going to do a show there. I think. I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Art Factory is actually a really nice venue.
Right?
I think it's a hidden gem right now, but all we need is for word to get out and people will be like,
yeah,
this place is legit.
Yeah. So like, kind of like how I think we're going to be structuring it is so Vibe, like the ones that are presented by Vibe, we're going to handle all the EDM. And right now I'm going to try and bring out as much dubstep and rhythm because that's what people want. And so we're going to try and bring out people who've never been to Utah before, not people have seen in the last 2 years, just because I want to highlight those kind of people. And then all the other partners, which is part of a white tribe, they're going to be handling like the rock concerts. We have some hip hop shows that are going to be coming up, and then we're also working with a couple other people on the days that we're not doing it. But the nice thing is because I'm partnered with them, every show that they do is accessible. So I make sure that they have the necessities to be able to be ADA compliant, which is basically the American Disability Act, which is what venues have to be. I make sure that they're taken care of, and then there's a thumbtack in the back of my shoe, just realized. But yeah, so it'd be cool. So even if it's not presented by Vibe, they will always have accessibility for people with hearing aids. If the deaf culture needs anything, they can always reach out. They already know that, but in case someone knows someone who's deaf and they're like, well, how do we know? Just let us know. Just contact me. I got you covered, I think, for the most part. Dang, yeah. So, yeah, we were talking about the people need to work more together. I was just going to say, I completely agree by that, because, I don't know, like, I think a lot of people just want to, I don't know, just people want to throw shows, but I don't think people do it in the most professional manner, and I think it just puts a negative rap in the EDM scene, or any scene in general, and I think people just need to, I understand people want to be like the head honchos and be in charge of their show, but sometimes it's good to have somebody who's done it, and then you can learn from them, and then start throwing your shows, because then you understand, like, oh wow, I need to do all of this to make sure the artist is taken care of. Like all the stuff we do for Slimes, or like Sweet Tooth, or anyone like that, I mean, there's a lot. There's like, people need to realize that they fly out from LA, we take care of them up until the show time, and then afterwards we gotta make sure they get home and then fly them out the next day. Most people just think it's like, oh, like there's someone for that. It's like, no, you are gonna have to do that. Like, I have a designated person that makes sure all the artists are taken care of, and we, like Slimes, we took them out laser tagging.
Nice.
I don't know why, but we went laser tagging with a bunch of 12-year-olds, and it was pretty hilarious. Also, Brian, I noticed you. I just remember that. Whatever, Brian. Cool. But yeah, and like Sweet Tooth and all them, we're gonna take them out paintballing, just because we had to. I believe in treating them like humans and treating them like you're our friend. Like I'm not there to idolize them. I'm there to make them have a good experience and understand that we're just doing it because we want to bring a better name to the scene, rather than we're here to make a bunch of money off you. It's like, I don't know who you are, Sweet Tooth. I don't listen to your music, but I love, like, people love you, so I'm going to bring you out, and I'll treat you like a person. That's all it is.
And that is exactly the kind of people that we need in our EDM community here in Salt Lake. Oh, absolutely. Look at him. See, he's not even, like, people like that who, like, their focus isn't on the money. It's about providing the experience for people. Like,
right.
That's where the heart is, and that's the kind of people that we need as organizers and you know, promoters and just people in our Salt Lake City EDM community, because I feel like the more of that kind of people that we end up with in our scene, we will finally, like, start moving towards having this more united feel in our scene.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I completely agree. I think when you come, I mean, obviously you have to pay your bills at the end of the day, and we obviously have to look at it like that. But at the same time, you need to do it in a way that it's still building something. Because if you're only doing it for money, at the end of the day, then when you have all the money, then you kind of lose sight of, like, everything that kind of you're trying to represent. And I'd rather just go in with a goal. And my goal is, I want it to sell out, of course, but I also want to make sure the deaf community is there. So as long as I have 5 to like 50 people from the deaf community, how many ever want to come out, I accomplish my goal at the end of the day, because I'm making sure that they're taken care of, that they're invited, because that's all Vibe's about, is making sure parts of those communities come out and they get to see an artist and that they're taken care of. I want everyone to have a good show at the end of the day. I still want the artists to have a great time. I still want to make money at the end of the day, of course, because then I can bring bigger and bigger artists and still provide the experience while bringing out more artists that deserve to come out to Utah that people want, because we're going to listen to what the community wants. I don't. That's just how I look at it, whether I know them or not. But I still, at the end of the day, I always make sure that the deaf community is taken care of. And if they're not taken care of, I make sure that's addressed first before, I need this $1,000. It's like, no, if it costs $1,000 to do something, we're going to do it. Like, you need an interpreter, and we need a specific kind of interpreter, let's do it. Or we need a certain type of thing for your hearing aid, great. It's not... I will always make sure they're taken care of before I do anything else. But we obviously want a great show, too. Who doesn't want a great show? Why would I want 5 people to show up?
Right.
I'll just party with myself. So, I'm glad that you brought that up. I didn't realize you guys were talking about that.
Yeah. So, let's see.
Yeah.
Where do you see the Salt Lake EDM community going?
I don't like it. I don't like a lot of what's going on. But, I mean, it's obviously biased. I come from a different... I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of different opinions. I'm happy that people are attempting to throw shows. I'm happy for all my friends who are trying to make the EDM scene better. But I also think there's a lot of people who aren't doing that, or doing it for the wrong reasons, or starting to DJ for the wrong reasons, or starting to make music for the wrong reasons, rather than doing it like... Illenium, I knew him while he was becoming bigger, before he released his Ashes Tour album, and I talked to him about what the album represents. And it's actually about like him when he OD'd and he came back from that, and he kind of talked about like he had a drug problem. He was very open about that. Those are kind of artists that I can relate to, not people who are like, you know what, because this is dope, I'm going to start doing this. Like, no, it's not because it's dope. I mean, I appreciate it. But, like, that's all you're doing it for. I love artists who write from their souls and write and do it because they want to help people or empower people, or they have some sort of goal with doing all this. When they want to just come in and then be like, well, I want to just be popular and famous, it's like, okay, well, cool. I mean, and I want a toilet made of gold, but I mean, it's just not going to happen, my friend. But, I mean, I appreciate everyone trying, and if people ask me for help, I will always try to help them out. But not a lot of people reach out. They just want to do it on themselves, and I think it's just to do with, I want to be in charge, or I want to do better than this other company. Like, I want V2 to keep bringing out all our artists. I think it's great. I'm appreciative that they do it, because it keeps the EDM scene alive. I want people to be successful, but I want them doing it the right way. I want them to do it where it benefits everyone, and I don't think everyone does that for that reason.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. But I think we can, as long as... But I think social media always helps out when people call a spade a spade. I've seen a couple events where people were just calling out. I'm not going to name names because I'm not that kind of person, but I noticed some events that came up and people were like, hey, you're doing this for the wrong reasons. And then they would change something and they would point out that issue. And because it means a lot to them, and they don't want people to take advantage of people's names, or to do things for the wrong reasons, or take advantage of the scene or anything like that, because it means a lot to them. And I think we need to have people who are willing to step up to that and be like, hey, why is this happening? And please address it. Like, what is the correlation? What is this all about? Like, if someone came to my show and said, you're actually not accessible, and I think you need to stop doing that, I would feel so inclined to resolve that issue. But obviously, that's what I do it for, and I make sure I keep that as my goal. I think people just need to be true with their intentions and be true with everything that they're putting forward, rather than put a facade at.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. A lot of that stuff that you just said is stuff that I've kind of, like, went on a rant on in the first hour of my show, actually. But, yeah, it's, whew, man.
Wait, Wolfpack would eat 20 jalapenos? Hard pass. Wait, Schuster's here? Oh, hey, Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel killed his set on... Did you see his set?
Oh, my God. Funny story. I've been like friends with Daniel on Facebook for for months now.
Oh really?
And several times he's come to town. I've only actually seen him once, and it was at the Nowhere House before it became the Nowhere House.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so that's the only time I've actually managed to catch his whole set. Every other time he's come, I've gone to the venue that he was there, but I didn't make it in time. I would always get there like right as his set had just ended. So I feel horrible, but Schuster, just know that the thought was there to be there for your set. Like,
I'm not trying to. I'm just saying. There's a reason why not a lot of people book him. He just got booked for DOS. Congratulations on that. He's on that lineup. I'm extremely appreciative of that. I know him personally. Me and him have actually written tracks together, and he knows a lot about music producing. I mean, there's certain artists that I would speak very highly on, and he is definitely someone. So, if you want to bring someone on, you should definitely bring him on because he has artwork that will blow your mind. He is so prepared as an artist. He makes me look bad as an artist.
Bet,
so
yeah.
we're not going to go down my road of my artist because he beats me by a long shot. But yeah, no, I'm glad he's here.
Yeah, I've been a fan of his music from the moment my best friend actually showed me his music, and I was like, "Yo, this dude is gonna blow up!" Like,
yeah, he is. So yeah, no, shout out to him, and he's going places. And also Brian, his remix. Have you heard his remix?
I have. Of that
Boombox Cartel.
Oh, Boombox. No, I haven't.
Wait, you haven't heard? That's why Brian's so famous. He's already so you know how he went to Phoenix Lights, right?
Yeah.
He went on the stage with Boombox Cartel and they played his remix.
Oh shit! I did not know that.
Yeah, that like his photo of his profile picture. I know. Yeah, see, and there's Schuster giving the hearts. Yeah, dude, he's insane. Like he did a remix and Boombox Cartel. They bring him out on stage when they came to Sky. They brought him on stage as well to play the remix too.
Nice.
And then they also did the remix with Z&Z too.
That's the one that I've heard.
That's pretty good.
That is really good. I love that track actually.
Yeah, so.
And I'm not even like a Chainsmokers kind of guy, but that track was like.
I'm glad you don't smoke. But
yeah.
But yeah, no. I figured I would shout out to the guys who are better than me. So I just don't want to talk about it.
For sure. So we're actually coming up on like the last 5 or so minutes of the show.
Oh shit.
Is there any like last shout-outs or comments or anything you want to put out there?
No, I appreciate everyone and everyone's support. We'll keep doing Vibe events. I mean, we're growing rapidly, and it's just insane. Like, I'm going to be going to Minnesota to even speak about what I do, which is insane. If people don't know and why this thing isn't a common thing is because I'm the only guy in the nation doing them right now. In the way that I do, and so a lot of parents and things like that they reach out to me, and that's why I always strive to make more and more technologies and bring bigger artists out. So then the bigger artists their voice is a lot stronger than mine, where they go, why isn't this a thing? Like this is. Like, there's 100,000 hard of hearing and deaf people. And, like, if I can get them to come out to shows, that'd be tremendous. And they would bring a lot of great things. So, yeah, keep an eye out. We have Vibe Music events every month. Next month, we're going to be doing it, I believe, on June 8th. We'll be releasing the artists soon. I know a lot of people have been asking about it. This Friday, we have Symbiotic and Sweet Tooth coming out. They're actually doing a back-to-back solo sets, too. So we have 3 sets going from the guys from LA, and then we also have that supported by Grime Time. Who is that? Who else is there? Malix? I can never say his name. He's going to kill me. And Quantum, back-to-back Ill Death. So it's going to be insane. It's going to be at the Art Factory, so please come. It'll be Star Wars themed, so we're going to have a lot of lightsabers. We'll play like that. But other than that, please be positive, please be awesome, and please bring very good things to the community, and please keep people in check, and because if we can't stand up to people and try and change the scene to what we want, then we can't complain about it at the end of the day either. So
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Other than that, let me know if you guys ever need anything. Hot, Daniel, you're hot. What music? It's WAT, okay, Brian. This is why we don't do music together, because you get this kind of crap wrong. But yeah. What do you want to plug?
All right, yeah, actually, I'm pulling it up right now. So,
yeah, the plan. That's bullcrap. No one told me to plan anything.
So tomorrow night, for those of you guys who are in Salt Lake City and listening right now, there's actually a show going up in Ogden called Thursdays in Paradise.
Oh yeah.
And a DJ that I actually became friends with recently, he goes by Refresh, and he's going to be playing a set there from 10:15 to 11:30, and it's $5 at the door, and it's 21 and up. So if you're not doing anything tomorrow night and you feel like hanging out in Ogden for a little while, check it out.
And then Friday, is there another?
And then Friday.
There's rave days, right?
So Friday is it's called Underground Rave Wars. It's in downtown Salt Lake, right next to the complex. And there's gonna be like Wanderlust will be there. Kilo, Halon, Shields. What's the other one? Starts with a V. Valenta or something like that. I can't really read it, but it looks like. Oh, there we go.
No, I don't know.
I
just made that up.
Yeah, it starts with a V. But yeah, guys, check it out. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Try if you can go to both events on Friday.
I mean, whatever works.
All right. And with that, guys, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to Global Cop and Rondon and my station managers at MSP Waves Radio for being there and supporting my show. That is the end of the 17th episode of the Dancing Dreamers with DJ Damashii on MSP Waves Radio.